Hey y'all, it's been a while. It's been a while. I did have a video I did like a little over a week ago, but for whatever reason I was having problems with it, so I was like, do over. Anyway, I am in the greenhouse. Guys, remember I am in zone 6. And today is what, Thursday? We're like in the 40s. But for the weekend, we're going to get 70s and 60s. And then into the following week, we're going to get a lot of 70s. But it's a false spring because the week after it's going to go right back to 30. So do not let the weather fool you. Look into the future. Go look at the month weather and see where you stand. So don't overdo it. I've been doing really good this year with slowing down and not planting up any seeds too soon. So we're early March. Only thing I've done in the greenhouse so far, I did some alliums. I potted those up last week. I think that was Friday. It was like 70 something degrees. And I did some other like smaller type alliums. So they're all potted up in the greenhouse. I'm gonna have to let some of this water out. But I straightened up the greenhouse a little, not a lot, because I still have the citrus trees in here that are fine. They're still alive, but they don't have any leaves, as you can see. They don't have any leaves. I didn't expect them to. So I'm just waiting, for the real spring to hit and for them to actually show up and show out, right? So I just lifted this up a little bit because I feel like my head is cut off, but I can only go back so far because I still have citrus trees in here and all the things. But I did come out here on during my lunch break, and I'm trying to think, what can I plant? Because I'm taking my time, I've already went in and did my March flowers and my March veggies. So a lot of the flowers are already seeded up. What did I do this morning? I potted up some lavender. I planted some marigold indoors. I got onions in the house. Celery is doing too well. Like I had to cut some of it back and hopefully it'll grow back because it's too tall and it's not ready to come outside. And what I got in the house? A couple of things I got in the house. Herbs. I'm growing some geraniums and they're doing really well. Everything is in the house right now. But once I could get the greenhouse where it'll stay even overnight, if it could stay above 40 degrees, I'll bring everything out because they can tolerate that. But for now, I'm leaving them indoors. So I've done well. I'm proud of myself. So I don't know if I want to start up some seeds in here. I'm thinking about maybe alyssum and chamomile. Maybe I can do that. And maybe go through some of the vegetables. Maybe I'll do okra, maybe some radishes, but the radishes are rather direct sow. So I don't know. You guys gonna be with me while I decide. But I think for flowers, I am gonna do the alyssum and the chamomile because they can take cool weather. And because I know the greenhouse is gonna get down to a certain temperature, it's gonna get pretty cold in here overnight. Not too cold, like sub below, but enough where I wouldn't want to start a warm season crop in the greenhouse. I do have a heater. I'm trying to cut it off and leave it off because I know I'll be able to have it off for the next couple of days. But I'm trying to leave it off because, let me turn this around so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to leave it off because it requires, like, for me to do so much heating through the night that my electric bill was high. Okay. This was my first year. My electric bill was really, really high. So I'm trying to see where I can set this thing so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing, child. I told y'all I need a camera crew, so you have to excuse me moving this camera around so much. But I'm trying to get it where you guys can see what the heck I'm doing, right? I do plan on getting the greenhouse more organized once I can get all the citrus trees out. Right now I need them to be in here because they are not safe outdoors. It's still too cold for them. Even though I have one of my hardy mandarins out there that could take down to 15 degrees, but I still even have a frost cloth over that because we're in Illinois and the weather can change. It's just basically bipolar. We'll just say that. So I'm just going to make up some seeding soil. I got some seed soil, and then I got this regular potting mix. But what I don't like about this potting mix, it has a lot of wood chips in it. So I don't have my sifter with me at this present time. Excuse me, lower this down so you can see what I'm doing. I don't have my sifter with me at this present time, so I'm just going to have to go through it with my fingers and just take out the big chunks. And then I'm going to add some of the Jiffy seeding mix in this. And I just get so annoyed with these big old pieces of wood in here. It's like, this is a very cheap potting mix that I purchased really for like the flower beds and things out there, but I'm just using a little of it because I know it has fertilizer in it, and I just want to get some of it mixed up with the seeding mix, just to give the seedlings an early start of nutrition, right? They don't have to have it at a seed level, but once they start growing, you want to give it a very light fertilizer, very diluted fertilizer, should I say, if you use liquid, diluted a lot, because they don't need a lot. You don't want to burn roots. So I figure if I could have it already in the soil, that'll keep me from feeling like I need to do it even when they're young. So that's another reason why I'm using a potting mix. That's just my choice. And I do buy a better grade of potting mix. I haven't bought Fox Farm yet. It's too expensive, y'all. I can't give a bag of dirt $30. I can't do it. But the Garden Supply potting mix is good. Who else is good? I'm quite sure some other ones out there that's pretty good. But all last year I bought the Garden Supply potting mix, and that was pretty good. I did enjoy that, and that was only like $16.99, $17.99 for I think a 1.5 cubic or 2 cubic. I can't quite remember, but it was a nice size bag. But this year I'm going a little cheap, and that's only because I'm slowing down a lot. A lot of my beds and stuff don't need a lot of soil. I still have a lot of compost. I got to get some chicken manure from one of my sisters from church, and I think I'll be okay. And then, you know, there's always that big sale on Miracle-Gro too, so that's why I'm not too much worried about it. But like I said, I'm going through here, getting rid of the big chunks that I can feel through my glove, and trying to get this stuff potted up before it's time for me to get back on the clock. So, have you started your garden already? But have you seeded up? What zone are you in? What are the things, you know, that you like to grow, or you did grow and found that, nah, I think I'll pass on it this time? It's like, for me, I grew loofah last year. I don't have to grow loofah. I have a girlfriend that grew loofah, and I still have some of those loofah sponges still. And I just don't have to grow it. I just feel like I'd rather grow some more melons or something like that in that place. So I'm not going to grow melons. I'm not going to do roselle this year. I did it last year. I grew it too late, so I didn't really get a lot of the harvest of the hibiscus flowers. Just a little bit of them, just a few of them. But I didn't realize that plant gets really, really big, and I'm not ready to give up that real estate this year. You know, I'm doing a lot of roses this year, a lot of vining, flowers, and I just don't want to give roselle that spot right now. But I do want to grow more greens. I think I just cooked my last bag of collard greens and cabbage last weekend from the 2025 year harvest. So I want to do more greens. I always do peppers. I want to do more green peppers. And of course more fruits and stuff like that. But I'm, you know, I always say this if you guys ever watch me. I'm a flower girl by heart. I love flowers. You know, flowers is my first love. I add a little Jiffy mix in the shop to lighten it up some more. The Jiffy seedling mix. As you probably noticed, I put some lights in here. I got 2 heat mats up in here. I haven't turned anything on yet. I don't plan to, especially with these next couple of days. that it's going to be kind of warm outside. So this I'm probably going to have to open up the door to the greenhouse so it won't get too hot in here, because it will get hot. I'll open up the window. But yeah, so I'm just trying to be more intentional about what I'm growing, because I can get crazy, especially with the flowers and things. I just want to grow all the flowers, and then I have to sit back and go, where's all of this is gonna go? I have no idea where this is gonna go. So trying to be more disciplined. And I've been collecting rainwater, like water that's collected like on our outdoor furniture that we have covered or whatever. There's a sunken part that has like a big puddle of rainwater. I've been taking that and putting it in my little buckets and using it to water my stuff in the greenhouse, because all the faucets are turned off that, you know, leads to outside. And I don't want to task my husband with turning that stuff on. So let's use the resources that the Lord gave us, right? So yes, I'm wet this soil. And again, if I feel anything chunky in here, I'm going to take it out, because I don't want it to disturb the seeds that are in here. And I don't know if I talked about this before, but one of my gardener girls, my gardener sisters, also one of my sisters from church, it's a group of us, we all garden and meet up and have our annual meetups and shop together and all those things, and share plants and ideas and things like that with one another. She is in the Illinois Extension Master Gardener Program, and so she suggested it to me. So I was like, ooh, child. Like, do I feel like doing this? Ooh, uh-oh. Anyway, I ended up doing it. So I went through all the things. The last thing I did was I had an interview, because I did the modules, the 12 modules of the, you know, going through the book, going through the videos, doing the quick quizzes at the end, then doing the main quiz. Then you have to fill out a questionnaire, like why you want to do this, what you think you could bring to the table, whatever. And then they set up a meeting. I did that already, an interview rather. Did that already. And so they're still interviewing up until mid-March. So she said I should hear something by mid-March. I usually don't talk about things until they're actually happening or has happened. So I'm just waiting to see if I've been accepted. And the thing is, they can have like 15 spots for the area in which that I want to volunteer in. And it could be only 15 spots, but it could be 40 people interviewing. So your chances of getting in, you know, it's not the best, but, you know, it is what it is. But if you don't get in, you can't take it as if you wasn't a good fit or anything like that. Don't take it as personal, because it's just it's so few spots, but so many people who want to apply, that are applying. So whatever happens, you know, I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. And the thing is, I can always apply again next year. So I just look at it like that. Whatever's for you is for you, and you keep it moving, right? Okay, so I got this soil how I want it, not with all the big chunks in it. So now I'm going to take my green stalk seed trays and fill them up. And one thing when you're filling these up, you got to make sure that you got enough soil in here, because like me doing this, let me show you real quick. Me doing this, just spreading it, you still got to stick your finger down in there to make sure the soil has reached the bottom. Can't be any air pockets in there. And so get everything in there real good. And it's just best to pre-moisten your soil before you put it in the cells, because the soil is so light and you'll think you'll have enough because it's sitting at the top, and then once you hit it with the water, then it sinks in and you really only have half of what you need in the cell. So it's best to moisten the soil first. Okay, so that seems like it's enough in here. And I really prefer doing this in the greenhouse, even though I've been doing these types of things in the house, because it's so much cleanup. At least in the greenhouse, you're like, I mean, is that's what dirt is. I mean, you can always sweep up or do later, but sweep up and clean up later. But it's just easier when you could do it in a greenhouse. And that was the whole purpose of me getting one, to kind of like stop making such a mess indoors when I can just come out here and do what I need to do. Yeah, so I don't think this is gonna be enough to fill up all 6 of these cell trays, but I don't have to fill all of these up either. Especially when I don't know what I'm gonna grow. Oh, what did I say? Alyssum and chamomile. I'll do a third one, just in case I see another seed that I can start. That's one thing I could do. And this is a nice break from work. Getting off the computer for a while, walking away, getting some air. This is actually relaxing to me, you know, so I don't mind a bit. Let's get a little bit more soil as one of these. Press it down a bit. Okay, I'm trying to make sure ain't no stem or nothing in the way as I'm doing this, because you don't want your seed to get blocked from germinating because some big stem or piece of bark is in the way. So let's put this one right here, put that one right here. All right, I gotta take these off because when I am handling seeds, it is hard to handle them with gloves on. So here's my little Ziploc bag of the March flowers. I am going to do, what is that? What are you, nasturtiums? I could do some nasturtiums, yeah. I'm gonna do some nasturtiums. These are orange red nasturtiums. That's what that third tray would be for. And then I'm gonna do like a multicolor alyssum. And where is the chamomile? Oh, you know what else that I need to do? I need to do moonflower. You gotta start these early. Okay, so I'll probably do 2 cells of the moonflower. Where is the chamomile? I have straw flower. What is this? That's more alyssum. I need chamomile. Chamomile. Here it is. There's my chamomile. All right. Instead of doing 2, looks like I'm going to end up doing 4. Now, I did bring my marker. Did I bring my marker? Yep, I did. Yep, here we go. Tags, marker. Okay, so let's write the marker. Ooh, shoot. Let's write the marker now. Write on the markers now. Ooh, try so much. So we got German chamomile. German chamomile. What's today? 3-5. Okay, so let's set this right there. And then we got moonflower. Three, 5. This is just let me know when I sowed the seed. Then we have alyssum. 3, 5. And then we have nasturtium. 3, 5. Okay. I could leave this these tags with marker in here, so I won't have to keep bringing one from out the house. Let's put this right there. Put that in there. Okay. So let's do the moonflower first. And I'm only going to use 2 cells for the moonflower because I only need maybe about 2 plants total. I just wanted to move some of the soil out the way off of these because it's a little messy. Okay. So let's do the moonflower. And Depending on the size of your seed determines how deep you should sow it. Okay? Remember, just like we need vitamin D, your seeds need vitamin D. I probably should have soaked these first, but these are going to be wet for a minute. So it's a pretty big seed. So I can do this like half of an inch down. So I'm going to put the moonflowers here. I feel like a stick in the way. Look at this. I almost cursed. Big old piece of stem. So I can bury that pretty deep. So let's take the other one. Yeah, I probably should have soaked these because these are pretty hard. But this just, you know what? It just gives it time to soak. And it'll germinate probably slowly. And then I'll put one here. I did say 2 cells. Now I'm doing 4. Okay. All right. We did 4 moonflower seeds. Hopefully we can get at least 2 to germinate. That would be good enough for me. Because 1 plant is, oh my God, huge, huge. I mean, it will literally take over a trellis, okay? But it's beautiful. Okay, so now that I did that moonflower, let's flag it, moonflower. And then let's put an arrow on here because I need to know what direction, okay? Okay, if that's the moonflower, I am going to make these next 2 cells nasturtium. And I could have soaked these too. But again, like I said, they're going to be out here for a minute. And they tell you to soak nasturtium seeds, but I'm going to be hard-headed. I'm going to be hard, and I'm going to do 2 per cell. So that'll be 4 nasturtium plants, hopefully, if they germinate as they should. Okay. So we're going to say 4 nasturtiums. Put that right there. Let's get the tag. Put it here. Right, so that's nasturtium, that's moonflower. Now, these are very tiny, 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 tiny seeds. So normally what I would do with chamomile is just take like a food container or something and just sprinkle the seeds all over it. And then just clump out what I want, which I think I might do. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because they're so tiny, guys. And I'm going to show you in a minute. So I'm going to take this cell. I'm just going to take this and make this my chamomile container. That's what we'll do. I don't feel like putting my gloves back on, so my hands just don't have to get dirty. Remember, the soil is pre-moistened, which is going to help us out a lot. Okay, so I got it right there. And I'm going to show you guys just how tiny chamomile seeds are. Hopefully I'll get some that come back. But I'm going to do this without trying to drop any. Can you see that? See how tiny that is? And that little bit is a lot of plants. So we're going to take this and sprinkle it on top. I hate that my hands are already wet from me handling that soil. We're going to be on camera. And because the seeds are so tiny, we're not going to cover this with soil at all. Okay? We're going to wet it a bit. I might just do a little bit. Literally a little bit. I don't have any vermiculite in here. We're just going to do it a little bit. Because like I said, the seeds are so tiny. And even while I'm touching this, I feel like, am I bringing up seeds on my fingers? So to be on the safe side, I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more seeds. I don't have my sprayer in here, my water sprayer in here. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this. Just sprinkle it over the soil. Yeah, that's more than enough. More than enough. So we're going to do that. And I might just take a little hay. Just a bit. In over this just a little bit, just to keep it from drying out. That is all, because if the sun will still get to it. Yeah, that's good. That is good. So now I have to write chamomile with this one. No, I did write chamomile. Yep. Let's do this chamomile. So now this is my chamomile. So we got chamomile. Now alyssum, I can really do alyssum like that too, because alyssum grows really crazy too. So let's do that too with alyssum. I'm gonna take one of these, and this is going to be an alyssum container, because alyssum also has very tiny seeds. So why waste my cells when I can use the cells for a much larger seed? Maybe I'll find something else to put in. So I'm sorry you guys don't see me. I'm just getting some more soil. That's pre-moistened soil that I've already prepared. I'll put it in here. And the good thing about the chamomile and alyssum, I can leave it in these cells until I'm actually ready to plant it out. Like, they can be all clumped together and grown together in clumps, and then you just piece it off, piece off whatever you want or need when you're ready to sow it, when you're ready to plant it in its permanent spot. So let's get in here and get some alyssum seeds, and this is a multicolor. So we got pink, purples, and yellows, and whites. I cannot wait. Hopefully everything will do what it's supposed to do. Come on. I'll try. Come on. Yeah, these are tiny too. So we're gonna surface sow these. Surface just means literally what it is. You're gonna put everything. So everything on the surface. Okay, it's taking its time coming out, and I don't want it all to end up in one spot. So let's do this. Okay. And sorry my back is to you, but I gotta use the angles and equipment that I got, y'all. Okay. So that's a couple of plants of alyssum. More than a couple. And very surface sown that you can barely see them, because that's just how tiny they are. And I'm just going to put a little hay, a little straw, not hay, and a little soil. I'll probably just wet it one more time. Now I'm just going to pat it down, because I don't want the seeds to stick to my fingers, because they're kind of damp. Alright, so let's do that. So now we know that this is alyssum. Awesome. I'm not going to turn on these heating mats yet. I could, but the only reason I'm not going to turn them on is because I know the next 4 or 5 days it's going to be really warm in here, so there's no need to turn on the heat mats. But next week, when things get back to 30, things go back to drop back down to 30 something degrees, that's when I'll turn the heat mats back on. So I planted some moonflowers, nasturtium, green chamomile, alyssum, and this is March 5th. Do I have any tape in here so I can take these seed packets back up? I'm just about to take them in the house. And what's this, girl? Y'all got seeds out of it. I wonder if it's broccoli. What is this? Oh, this is a lettuce. I can use these other cells for lettuce. I could do that. I got some seeds in here, y'all. Don't ask me what they are. We got some lettuce. Is this the butternut? Yep, the butterhead. And what is this? That's a butterhead. You know what? Let's use these cells for lettuce. I mean, they out here waiting to be sown. Might as well, right? I got some carrot seeds out here too. I wonder what type of seeds those are. They might be loofah. And these are alliums. I know what those are. Okay, so let's write these out. Let's do the dark red Lola Rosa. Let's say dark red lettuce, 3-5. So we're gonna do a dark red lettuce, and then we're gonna do what's another tag? We're gonna do the butterhead. Let's do butterhead. I like butterhead lettuce. As I don't know how to spell at this present moment. I'm like, no, that's wrong. Okay, so this is all gonna be dark red, and this is gonna be the butterhead. That right. All right, we found the purpose, y'all. We found the purpose. So we're gonna do the butter crunch. Oh, that said butterhead. Butterhead. This is butter. Okay, I'm gonna do butter crunch right there. All right, let's hope these seeds are good because they've been out here. And another tiny seed. All these little tiny seeds I'm working with today, y'all. Gather y'all together a little bit more. Yeah, I don't need a lot. Okay. So that's the butter crunch. Here is the butter. These seeds are really, really old. These are some of the first seeds that was gifted to me from my sister. Okay. And I'm kind of overseeding because, you know, I don't know how viable these are because they are old. But it ain't going to hurt. It's not going to hurt to overseed. And now let's do the red. And these are some fairly 2023. We shall see. We shall see. And then the dark red, I'm just going to let the dark red have this whole 6 cell tray. We're going to let the red ham all these. Come on, get in there. Let's do the red because we can always give them one. Alright, gonna cover y'all just a bit. As I'm pulling out sticks. Yeah. Let's put a little bit more in here. Okay. Let's see what we get, y'all. Oop. Okay, I dropped some of those seeds. But it's like 1,000 of them already. So anyway, take some of the soil. Sprinkle just a little. Not a lot. Just to make sure the seeds got some contact with the soil. As I feel little bitty pieces of wood. Okay. I'm going to bring my vermiculite out here. That'll help keep the soil moist. Put a little hay on here. It's not going to hurt it. Very little. You don't want to bury it under the straw. I keep saying hay. You don't want to bury it under the straw, but just give it a little insulation. Just a little, like the nasturtiums could get a little bit more. The moonflower could get a little bit more because that's a big seed. So they can get a little bit more straw on top of their cells to keep the soil moist. Because like I said, once it gets hot up in here, these can dry out really, really fast. And that's not what you want. Let's cover up some of these seeds, the butterhead. A little bit of the soil, a little bit of the damp soil, pat now for contact, and we'll be done. Then I can get it back in here and get back on the clock. And I'll turn this around so you guys can see what I've done. All right, now we're just gonna put a little bit, just a little bit of hay. Okay. Now, if I want to, I can take some clear plastic. I can use that to kind of like insulate it for germination. And I might do that, but let me get myself situated first, because like I said, I don't have anything to close off these seeds to keep them from spilling out. And I usually bring my tape out here so that doesn't happen. So let me see if I got a clip in here to hold it down until I get in the house. Girl, I got some seeds out here. Don't even ask me what they are. Okay, yeah, we'll hold it like this until I can get it in the house to close it up. So I have a plastic bag with this hay, and I might just use it. And I need to stop saying hay and say straw. I could use this to cover this to kind of help insulate it as they try to germinate. And it's clear so the sun could still penetrate through the plastic. But yeah, I could definitely do that. And if I wanted to, I could actually cover it. In fact, let's put you right here. Okay. And then if I want to provide some insulation for these, I usually try to keep little plastic bags that stuff come in, just to ensure that I can insulate some seedlings or whatever. And I'm telling you, you become a gardener. You become inventive. Okay, you become creative. So that can go over that for the chamomile. Let's see if I can find something. Oh, here we go. We can find something for the alyssum. Make sure it's closed. And then I could put that over. No, it didn't fit really. Is it? Oh, I can just push it in. Let's see. Nope, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. Maybe I got something in the house. I might just come back out here again. Yeah, I might have something in the house that I can use. Yeah, I'll come back out here. I probably got something in the house that I can use. But in the meantime, I got something done. Oh, here we go. I told you I keep stuff around here. Found a Ziploc bag. I have to take it open some. Yeah. But you want to get it insulated a little bit. I mean, you don't have to do this, but it'll just help it germinate faster. Let's just say that. There we go. Okay, there we go. So now I got that on there. So everybody got a little bit of insulation, not a lot, but I'm in no rush for them to like germinate right away because it's still early. Excuse me, I'm bending down and straightening out stuff, which is a habit that I have. I see something, I'm like, I just want to get it. But anyway, so that's all I want to show you guys. That's all I want to show you guys. And now I'm gonna get back in here and get started on get back to work rather. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, let me take these lettuces that I found out here in the house, and I'm gonna take the camera and dip it down so you guys can see what I've done. So basically, let me go back. I've covered the green stalk seed tray with this plastic that I found. Don't ask me what that is. I was supposed to write it down and left out of here and forgot. And when I came back, I was like, I don't know what that is. So we're going to find out. But anyway, so the nasturtium, moonflower, lettuces are in these trays. I started the chamomile in that one and the alyssum in that one. So we're going to see how things work out. And I got a couple of things coming back. I got some geraniums up there that's trying to come back. I have a Macrophylla hydrangea in here that's trying to come back, but I'll give you guys a better view of all those things at another time. I just want to see what you guys got going on in early March in your garden, what seeds you've started already. I just want to share what I've been starting. And again, I'm doing really good this year, being disciplined by not overdoing it. So the older I get, the more I'm trying to simplify the way I garden. So that's that. All right. Well, like I always say, you guys be blessed, but you also better be a blessing. All right. You guys have a wonderful day.